people of the internet, my name is Julie. Welcome back to the Curated Curvy. I'm just gonna jump right in. So I began working on Simplicity 8738, which if you haven't seen my winter plans already, I will link it so you can check it out. But it's one of the patterns that I mentioned that I wanted to sew immediately. And the pattern is a really quick make. So yesterday I went ahead and I cut it out and I got it sewn up and it is 90% done. So I went to try it on, and when I tried it on, I realized that I made the wrong size. So I have it and it fits, obviously, because it's my size, but it's not as oversized as I want it to be. So I'm gonna sew it again. And I know it seems kind of like wasteful to sew it again when I have one, but I know how I am, and I know the reason that I like the sweater so much is the fact that it is so oversized, and that if I don't correct it, I'm probably not going to reach for this one as much as I reach for the other one. So I'm going to sew it again. So I'm just going to fold this baby up and I'm going to put her aside. Now luckily I bought a massive amount of that fabric, so I know that I have enough to get another sweater out of it. The only bummer is that I'm gonna have to retrace the pattern again, and I don't have that much tracing paper left. I am like literally down to the end of my roll, and if I run out of tracing paper, then I'm just out of tracing paper. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. Hopefully I can get it out of the tracing paper that I have, but the pattern pieces are quite large, so there's a good chance that I may not be able to, but all we can do is try, right? All we can do is try. Whatever the case may be, I'm not cutting into the paper pattern because like I said, I want to keep that pattern intact. It's a great sweater to have and to gift to people, and I don't want to have to try and hunt down another copy because I've chose to be like reckless. So I said I was just gonna get straight into it, and we are 3 minutes in and I'm still rambling about the pattern. I'm gonna go ahead and figure out where the pattern is in here and then get out my tracing paper and see if I have enough to cut it out, and we'll take it from there. Yeah. Okay, so my fears were confirmed. I am out of tracing paper, which means that I'm gonna have to halt this. Let me see what time it is. Right now, it is 9:52. I have to go get my little guy at 10:30. He has his like half day in preschool, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and try and run to Joann's first before I get him and see if they have any tracing paper. They might not, because lately they haven't been restocking their stuff, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go check and see if they have any tracing paper, and then worst case scenario, I'll go to Hobby Lobby. I love Hobby Lobby, but I hate their system. It's so outdated and like antiquated. It takes forever, like just getting through their lines, because they chose not to like bring their technology to the modern day era. So I really don't want to go there. I'm gonna try Joann's first and see if I have any luck. I wonder if like Walmart sells tracing paper. It's a thought. But I'm out of tracing paper, and I was only able to trace off one pattern piece. With the little bit that I have left, I can probably trace off the collar, but I'm not gonna waste any, I'm sorry, I'm doing all this. I'm not gonna waste any more time trying to trace off something when I know that like time is limited. So I'm gonna go get in the car, I'm gonna go to Joann's and see if they have any tracing paper, and then go pick up my son. And then I probably won't get back to this until much later today because there's an estate sale that I want to hit up. So I'll try and chronicle that for you guys. Be brave, record in the wild. Who am I? I don't know, but I need to go. I need to stop rambling. Okay, I'll be back, or I'll see you in Joann's. now that the paper has been secured, I am heading off to an estate sale. Very excited to go and check it out. When I got there, I saw this brown basket. They were asking $30, which is way too much for a woven basket. If it was like $5, I would have taken it. I liked how coordinated these threads were. I feel like there was a project in mind for them, and I often wonder what were the creators thinking when they were collecting these things, but I left that behind. Next, I found the fabric room and I came across this raw denim, which I really wanted, but it had some sun damage to it, and I just don't know how much the damage was and if it would be worth it to try and bring it in my room and cut it up to get something out of it. So I left that. There was also this bag of silkies, and I love a good silky, but they all felt like synthetic fibers, and I also don't really need that. Then I saw this vinyl, and how gorgeous is this? It was about 1/4 yard each, and I just couldn't figure out what to do with it, so I did end up leaving this behind. And this was one of those things that I really regret, like when I got home and I thought back on it. To make me feel better though, I did find this suede, and I'm almost positive that this is real leather. I like leather a lot, so I touch it often, and this feels real to me. And even if it's not, I'm still gonna find a really cool project to use it for. So I did go ahead and take that home with me. On the bookshelf, she had a book from our favorite Nancy, but when I flipped through it, none of the information was useful to me, so I ended up leaving that behind. Now, this is not sewing related, but I love these little copper pans. I see people hang them up on their walls all the time, and while it's not my aesthetic, I still appreciated it. There was also some finished quilt blocks that I thought about getting, but I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with them, so I ended up leaving those behind as well. This was a really clever idea. She'd done some patterns on this plasticky situation and had it on a ring binder clip. I thought that was kind of cool. Then we get to the good stuff, the patterns. She had quite a few designer patterns, which I love, the old school Vogue designer patterns, and I really wanted this one, but it wasn't in my size, so I left it. This one as well was super cute, also not in my size, so I left that behind too. So many good ones that I just couldn't fit. This vest pattern, another really good one, not in my size, so sad about that. And then this jacket, look at those shoulders. Look at those shoulders. Again, not in my size though. This pattern I thought was interesting. It reminded me of something my mom would have worn. This also reminded me of something that my mom would have worn in the 80s. And when I flipped it over, I realized it was 2 pieces. It was a skirt and a top. I really love that. And I think this one was in my size. All right, that is it for the estate haul. I decided to take the scenic route back, and once I get back to my place, I'll show you all the fun things that I got. I'm back. So, I'm back. Needless to say, I feel like it was a success. There was someone at the estate sale who was cleaning the room out. I mean, she was in and she was just pulling stuff. I think her method, which is a good method, was just grab everything and sort later. So it was all of the threads and the bobbins and all of that was really slim pickings. If I didn't mention, the estate sale was it was the home of a person who was a seamstress. So she had a long arm machine, she had sewing machine, she had quilting machine or quilting equipment. She just had a bunch of stuff. The reason that I wanted to go initially was because I saw this. Now this is the teacher in me, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is those old school blade paper cutters where you literally just line the paper up on the edge, you lift the blade, and then you pull it down, and it can cut a lot of paper with one fell swoop. Yeah, and it was only $10, so I went ahead and grabbed this. It's very sturdy, very heavy duty. This was the first thing I grabbed because this was the main reason that I was there. So the owner of the home had this quilted fabric, and how cute is that? I am very much into quilted vests right now. I also want to play around with some quilted crossbody bags, and this is kind of that vintagey floral print that I just love. There seems to be a good bit of yardage here, maybe 2 or 3 yards, which is pretty cool. So I will definitely have some fun with this, and I paid $10 for this fabric. All right, next was this mini ironing board, which is stable. Okay, cool. This mini ironing board. So I want to have a board for my cutting, or like not my cutting table, but my work table, or when I'm like sewing at the table. I don't always want to have to like get up and turn around to my machine. I have a rug in my sewing room, which I don't want to take out, but it prohibits me from being able to like roll around the room freely. So I've been finding that it's just like, I want to have an iron next to me. Now with this, they also had this little steam iron. So I feel like this would be perfect to just keep on the board. It's only a steam iron, but most of my ironing relies on steam anyway. And so I got this, and I think the board for some reason was only $5 and they were charging $10 for this, but I think she ended up letting me take it for like $6. So I got this little steam iron and I got this little board, so then I can keep them on my table with me as I'm working. And then when I need to iron a larger piece, obviously I can still like move over to my iron. But this is a setup that I have been wanting for a while, so I'm happy that I found it. You probably saw it in like the video footage, but I did go ahead and pick up these two because I am almost positive that this is leather. So I saw this and I was like, this looks like the back of leather. Like, this doesn't look like faux suede. So I went ahead and I picked it up, but it is stamped in like an interesting way with like a number and stuff. So I think it is, even if it's not, which I'm pretty sure it is, I plan on doing something fun with this. I would like to do like some sort of like hobo bag, because I used to love hobo bags and they fell out of grace, and I think I stopped wearing them because, you know, people didn't think they were cool anymore. But I'm at the point in my life where I don't care about cool anymore. So they had this one and this one, and I got both. Lastly, you saw me looking through the patterns. She had a lot of really good patterns and in my size, which is always a bonus. I did put back a lot. I really kind of like tried to pare it down. The patterns were supposed to be $3 a pattern, but I feel like she charged me $10 for all 4 of these patterns, so that's cool. This first one I got, I like the whole look of this set right here. It's giving like 90s and I feel like it's cool, so I got it. This one, oh my gosh, so I went to an estate sale before and I got a quick sew lingerie pattern and I was so excited about it, and I didn't check the envelope, and when I came, the pattern had been cut in its smallest size, which was very, very devastating. So I make sure now when I go to estate sales and I buy patterns that I always check the envelopes. But they had this lingerie pattern. So it has a camisole. It has actually two different ways. So you can do it with lace on the top, or you can do it with fabric on the top and then lace trim. It has a little robe, excuse me, and it has undies. Like, this is so perfect, and it is uncut, all intact, and it comes in my size. So very excited about this. Obviously it's way too cold for this right now, but the day will come when this will be weather appropriate. Next I got this. I honestly really liked it. I know it's like giving 80s, but we've already established, I'm trying to see what year it was made. We've already established on this channel that 80s is my vintage era. I don't care how other people feel about it. 80s is my brand of vintage. It's actually 1987, so I was spot on. I really like it. And then I liked it even better when I looked at the back and I realized it separates. So this gorgeous top, focus, is just a top. I love that. And I love the skirt. I love the fact that the skirt also isn't an elastic waist skirt, because I think I'm like kind of moving past that, or at least I want a smooth front and an elastic back. So I really like that. So I went ahead and I grabbed this, and then I saw this and it made me think of that. So this isn't a top pattern, but this set right here, because I don't have this top, or it doesn't come with this top, but those white leg pants with this top would basically give you that look. And I think that's kind of cool. So I picked this up not for that reason, but this is a skirt, a white leg pant, and a slim fit skirt. And I actually like all 3 of these views, so much so that I am going to leave them out, because this is something that I would like to get into sooner than later. I also opened the package. The woman who this belonged to did use this pattern before, but she did not cut it, which is great. Every once in a while when I find a pattern and you realize that the person before you traced the pattern, it's such a good feeling. Unfortunately, I'm not that person. I'm probably gonna cut it. But it's nice when other people have done that for you. And that is all that I got from there. Now, I think I have enough time to trace out the pattern, which is where we left off before I went on my excursion around the world. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then I have to leave again to go pick up a kid, because I am a child chauffeur. It's what I do these days. So let me go get the tracing paper out of the car, and then I'll take you back to the cutting paper table and we'll get that traced out. I don't think I'll have time to cut it out before I have to leave again. So honestly, the cutting out may be reserved for tomorrow because I am also taking the confident pattern making class and I need to have time to work on that, and I haven't cooked dinner. So yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I think I need a nap too. I think I'm tired after all that. Maybe I'll just go lay down and get back to all of this tomorrow. We'll see. Whatever I do, you'll see. I have all of the pieces cut out. So I love this pattern because it's literally just 4 pieces. So I have my neck, I have my sleeves, and then I have my front and my back bodice. So now I'm gonna put this all together using my serger, and then I have to hem it. I don't know if I'll get to hemming it right now, but on the serger it's literally gonna take like less than an hour, which is very exciting because now all of the hard work is done. So putting together this pattern is pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna take the front and the back and I'm gonna join them at the shoulder seams. So let's go ahead and do that now. have the sweater. This is a sweater. The next thing that I need to do is I just serge the ends of this before I hem it, because yeah, it's like a knit. It's a chenille. I don't know if that qualifies as a knit, but it fuzzies a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to serge all of the edges. And then I'll just have to fold it up once and stitch it down, and then we'll be done.